What's up, guys? HM Carrier once again back from E3, and now we can finally talk and know a bit about the DLC, the winter DLC of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The game came out in March, and I'm still so hyped. For a refresher course, DLC Pack 1, the Master Trials, will be releasing soon. 10 days. 9 days. And like, in a good amount of time before this month, June 30th. Alright, whenever you're watching this video, 10 days, 9 days, 8 days, or whatever. And for a little refresher course, it comes with the Trial of the Sword. It comes with Master Mode, which acts as a separate save, so you don't have to save over your, current save file, which is good. A Hero's Way, which you find out is basically a backtracking tool. The Warp Stone, or the Teleportation Stone, or whatever, comes with the Majora's Mask, the Korok's Mask, yada yada yada, Twilight Midna's Helmet, blah 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 blah. It's coming out soon, and I'm incredibly excited for it. But at E3, we got more information, or I should say a little tease about DLC Pack 2. And before we really knew what it was or whatever, all we knew is that we're getting a new original story, a new dungeon, and some more surprises, features, like those three things: story, dungeon, and new surprises or whatever. But now the DLC pack in winter has a name, and it's been given a trailer. The name is the Champions Ballad. Oh boy! And what we see is, from the trailer, we saw Cass like, oh, there's a verse that was, talked about in this region. Care to hear about the Champions Ballad? And then it sees Cass overseeing Hyrule, and then showing Varuta in the background. I'm talking about it a little bit. Varuta in the background, as it seems that he reminisces about the Champions of Hyrule, Mipha, Revali, Daruk, and Urbosa. So it has a lot of us believing that we might have a prequel story DLC on our hands, where we get to experience the lives of Urbosa, Revali, Daruk, and Mipha, the champions of Hyrule before their unfortunate demise 100 years prior. It is unknown if we'll be going to be playing as Link or be playing as the champions, or what this new dungeon is going to entail with this, new storyline. All we know is about the new storyline. That's like basically we have a gist of that. However, a lot of people are thinking that it might be a past tale, or it could be a storyline where we try to revive the champions. And it's not like there should be something in The Legend of Zelda, an item or a power, something that could possibly revive these fallen heroes and restore Hyrule, something that the royal family had in their toes, something that Zelda used in the game multiple times. It's not like something like that exists, right? I mean, just a shot. It's not like something that's been used in the prior Zelda game to, restore the lives of people who died. I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, so it's unknown if it's going to be in the past, or it's going to be the present, or possibly the future. A hint of it being in the future is that I'm not going to spoil the ending, but at the end of the game, at the very end, when you get everything, there is a certain cutscene that relates to Varuta, and the fact that we saw Varuta in the trailer kind of points to something like that. But of course we have Cass, his accordion, and it seems that he's recounting a tale, so it might be something that takes place in the past. To me, I really think it's up in the air because of those two contrasting points: Varuta and Cass. Cass, Varuta, and the fact that we're getting champion amiibos this holiday season kind of helps that. But I mean, at the least, the champion amiibos are probably going to help you unlock the champion weapons, so you don't have to go through using a diamond and all that crap in order to rebuild them if you break them or whatever. But I have them all in my house. They're like there on display, so I don't know if they're gonna get any more use beyond that. We're gonna have to wait and see. But what will this new dungeon be? I have a speculative theory that if this is truly going to be something that takes place in the past, like you were counting tales, you're remembering Mipha, you remember Revali, Daruk, and Urbosa, and all that stuff, that I believe that maybe Nintendo will create a type of labyrinth-style dungeon, a true Zelda-style dungeon, something similar to the case of the Hyrule Castle in Breath of the Wild or past Zelda games or whatever. And in this dungeon, which could take place anywhere, like, it could just be a floating dungeon, a sky fortress, whatever they decide to do, some blah, right? In this dungeon, there's 4 major sections that you have to brave through this dungeon, and each section is going to be related to a certain champion, the Champions Ballad, right? Daruk, Urbosa, Mipha, and Revali, and then throughout that part of the dungeon, there are certain segments where you might have to remember or live out or communicate with the fallen champions, live out their stories, or they'll tell you something about this dungeon, and maybe when you finish the dungeon, you get to learn the Champions Ballad and bring them back to life. I don't know. I don't care. It's gonna be hype. You know it. I know it. Oh, baby. But you know, it's two contrasting points. I believe that what could be in this DLC story, or what the dungeon could be. The dungeon is really up in the air, but I mean, we do have some sort of concise points when pointing to the story of the Champions Ballad, and that's either taking place in the present or the past. We know for a fact it's going to be a story about the champions, and from the fact sheet that Nintendo gave me, all it tells me is that it's going to feature the champions, and that you're going to brave a new dungeon with an original storyline, and that's pretty much it that they tell us, even after the Champions Ballad name and the premise got revealed or whatever. But I'm very excited to see, because I know a lot of people were interested in the lives of the champions, and we couldn't really know more about them other than flashbacks after they died. And man, oh man, a lot of people are going to be like, Mipha, yeah! I understand that. I know there's a thing going on in the internet, Link Mipha, Link X Mipha, yeah, okay. We're probably going to get more of that. Now, it also makes me wonder if the voice actors for these characters are going to get back in the recording booth and record lines for the storyline, or it's just going to be like, you know, text and talk, text and talk, text and talk. We'll have to wait and see. But I mean, it is DLC, and after we get a good sense and we play the June 30th Pack 1 DLC, I'm pretty sure we might get an idea of how grand in scope DLC Pack 2 will be. But Nintendo, for the most part, has been cool and has been great with what they offered through DLC in their past games. So this is going to be the first true time where we get, you know, DLC in a Zelda game. Yeah, we had Hyrule Warriors, but that's not a Zelda game. That is not a Zelda game. It is not The Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors. It is Hyrule Warriors. So this is going to be the first time we truly experience that, and a lot of people are like, oh, I hope this is good, I hope this is great. And, you know, we're going to have to wait and see how well we enjoy DLC Pack 1, the Master Trials, and to get some sort of, you know, inclinator for the Champions Ballad. So, to recount, what do I believe the Champions Ballad could be? It could either be one of two things. A lot of people are believing it. It could be something that takes place in the past, where we take, you know, the past body of Link will only have the champion shirt, the Master Sword, and that's it. And, you know, relive the lives of Link, Mipha, Urbosa, Daruk, and Revali, their interactions, what missions they could possibly go on, them protecting the princess and stuff like that. Because the princess is on one of the, not box art, but one of the artworks for the Champions Ballad, where the original artwork was with Link, Urbosa, Mipha, Revali, and Daruk. But now in the new updated artwork, Zelda replaces Link, even though in the press information in the press kit, they gave us both. So I mean, like, Link, Zelda, blah, 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 blah. So it could give us an insight of how they kind of, you know, were a team, because that's everything we reported. Even though Revali is a dick ass and doesn't probably play nice with Link, we know that, right? But it could show us a bit of an insight of how they worked as a team, how Zelda commanded them, and, you know, the events leading up to, alright champions, go to your divine beasts, and they were never heard from again. So it could, you know, lead up to the story, or it could be a quest of Link trying to restore their spirits, even though their spirits are freed, into the divine beasts, and, you know, revive them possibly with, you know, the sweet song, the sweet revitalizing song of the Champions Ballad, or the Triforce. I don't know, it could be, but the fact that we have Varuta, like I said before, Varuta in the background, that points to the present or future, but Cass, recounting tales, that points to the past. So we're gonna have to wait and see, but I wanna know what you guys think. Do you guys think the Champions Ballad is gonna take place in the past, is it gonna take place in the present, or is it gonna take place in the future? Are we gonna recount tales and learn more about the champions, or are we gonna spend our adventure trying to revive them or trying to bring them back to the world of the living? Because it's happened in Zelda games before. It's not out of the room of possibility, baby. It's not. So guys, leave your comments, thoughts, all that good jazz in the comment section below. And be sure to like, favorite, share, and most importantly, subscribe to HMK for more Zelda videos. A big theory is coming out. We're gonna have to theorize on the Champions Ballad. Oh, it's not over, baby. So guys, until then, I will check you guys later.